Let us stand for our call to worship. Rejoice, for God is with us, Emmanuel. Now there is reason to hope, to love, to laugh, to live.
God is really with us. We are not alone. Thanks be to God.
Let us join together in our hymn of praise for this evening, O Come All Ye Faithful, hymn number 182.
Good evening. For those of you who I have not met, I'm Joe Carina. Your bulletin says that I'm Jerry Molina.
Hi, Jerry.
So you get me tonight. But on a serious note, Jerry has been our lay leader of this church for many years. And the last year she has not been feeling well. So this evening around 6 o'clock, I got a call saying that she would not come, her family would be with her. So I asked all of us to just take a moment during our prayer session and think about the Molina family. Welcome. This reason I brought the hymnal up is as I was singing that beautiful hymn, it says the words were created in 1751. The music was created in 1751. So sometime after the words were added to it. This building was built in 1781. So I was standing there and I was wonder if those people who founded this church sang that hymn in 1781 when this church was established. Goosebumps. Our minister, Jackie Gilchrist, our music director, Sean Jackson, and returning this year from last year, Heather Dixler, Seth Dixler, and Mark Humber. Thank you for coming back. For those of you who were not here last year, you're in for a treat. Also, our soloist, Leah Munch, who is thrilling. You'll enjoy her in a few moments. So, one last thing. If anybody does, because this building was built in 1781, there is no bathroom. If you need to get up, the children get anxious, and you need to go to the bathroom or take the children, the building behind here is our office meeting room. I was here this afternoon under the sun, and I'm saying, boy, it's getting warm, it's getting great, but it's gotten cold. So be careful. The road, this asphalt here may be a little slippery. So just watch yourself if you're going back there or going to your car after service. Welcome.
Yes, we'd like to welcome all of you to North Stamford Community Church. We are so glad to have you here for our Christmas Eve, our annual Christmas Eve worship service. We will begin our program on tonight, Come Into the Light, and we will start with the lighting of the Advent candles.
We are a people of hope. Our hearts are full of anticipation for the coming of our beloved Christ child. For God is to be among us, and we will see a great light in the midst of our night. Let us light the candle of hope.
We are a people who seek peace. We know that God has told us to turn our weapons of war into instruments that benefit all humanity. In the name of that child who was born long ago to become the Prince of Peace, we now light the candle of peace.
Joy to the world. Our God is now coming to bring us good news. May we sing songs of praise and gladness. We know that our Savior reigns. Let us light the candle of joy.
Our faith teaches us that God gives us unconditional love and forgiveness. Acknowledging God's free gift of grace, we light the candle of love.
6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary, and having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women." But when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and considered what manner of greeting this was. Then the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there will be no end." Then Mary said to the angel, "How can this be, since I do not know a man?" And the angel answered and said to her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Highest will overshadow you. Therefore, also that Holy One who is to be born will be called the Son of God. Now indeed, Elizabeth, your relative, has also conceived a son in her old age, and this is now the 6th month for her who was called barren. For with God, nothing will be impossible." Then Mary said, "Behold, the maidservant of the Lord, let it be to me according to your word." And the angel departed from her. Let us join together in hymn number 185, "Hark the Herald, Angels Sing."
Thank
first lesson, the birth of Jesus.
Luke 2, verses 1 through 7. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. Then all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth into Judea, into the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Here is the first lesson.
The second lesson, Jesus' birth is announced to the shepherds.
And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over the flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be the sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men.
O Holy Night, by soloist Aaliyah.
This is the
blessing. The shepherds find the baby Jesus.
The shepherds find baby Jesus, Luke 2, verses 15 through 20. And it came to pass, as the angels were going away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us now go even unto Bethlehem and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us." And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning this child. And all they that heard it wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen, and he was told unto them.
Let us join together in the singing of hymn number 191, "It Came Upon the Midnight Flame." Just like in the Christmas story, they came with gifts, and now we bring our gifts.
lives every day. On the birth night of the Holy Child, we return this offering in the presence of our Savior, Jesus Christ, who brings the light of your divine love into the world. Amen. Amen.
God draws near.
From John chapter 1, verse 1 through 14. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not that light that was sent to bear the witness of the light. That was the true light, which gives light to every man coming into the world. He was the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, not of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of the man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth.
Tonight is the night for which we all have been waiting for. Our Advent wreath will now be completed by the lighting of the Christ candle. With the birth of the Christ, our lives will be forever changed. We will be transformed by his motto and message. We light this candle to represent that Christ is truly the center of our lives. acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. I need some help tonight. He put his head down so I wouldn't call him. We have here. We have some Christmas lights. Do most of you have lights in your house, either on a tree or outside? Ethan's raising his hand. He has Christmas lights. Christmas lights are beautiful, don't you think? They have different colors and they blink. And we all love. I know when I was a young child, my mom and dad, we would go around and we would look at the Christmas lights that were on the homes, and some homes just, oh my goodness, they go all out, almost like, what is that movie, the Chevy Chase movie, is it Christmas, when he goes just crazy? I was watching one last night with my family, and it was really interesting because I think it was, what was it called, The Cranks or something, and again, they left the man on top of the roof who was putting Frosty the Snowman up there, and he almost froze to death, but he was putting up Christmas lights. You know, hold that right there. I just went, and how many of us have trees and we kind of just wrap them, and it's, you know, it's a Christmas tree, and it's just so beautiful. We just have lights everywhere, Christmas lights. How many have Christmas lights at their house? Just Christmas lights are just beautiful. Look how they blink. They blink and they light up. When lights are dim, they just light up and they just make a room come to life. Christmas lights. Everybody say Christmas lights. You're a good sport. Now let's see if I can unwrap you. You can just step right on out of it. Christmas lights. They're just beautiful. Take a bow. Tonight I want to talk about Christmas lights, but I want to ask a question. How many here tonight truly enjoy reading a good book? I know I do. I have a lot of books. A good book. Is anybody here tonight possibly in a book club? Yeah. Tyler's in a book club. He goes every day when he goes to school.
Lauren.
And well, you know what? I keep thinking it's Lauren. Lauren's in a book club. A book club. Is there anybody here tonight that loves to check out the bestseller list? I know there's some people that just truly enjoy checking out the bestseller list because you look for a good book, because you truly enjoy reading a good story. How many of you have ever read a book that had like volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3? The theme of the book was so good that the author just kept writing and writing and writing. For the last few weeks, the Christian church has been reading volume 1 of a good story found in a great book. This great book has been on the bestseller list for many, many years. The story of this book is considered a great classic. To many, it's considered the greatest story ever told. To many, it's considered the greatest love story ever told. The Christian church started reading the story around the first Sunday after Thanksgiving, which was the start of a season called Advent in the Christian church. Advent is a time of personal preparation. Advent is a time of reflecting on your spiritual journey. Advent is a time of getting ready. Advent is a time of waiting. Advent is a time of expecting something miraculous to happen in the world and in our own personal lives. For Advent, you see, represents a season of lights. In our northern hemisphere, we are experiencing what is called the Winter Solstice. Some of you might have heard about that. Maybe others, maybe not. And I want to just share a little information about that. The Winter Solstice, when the days are shorter and the nights are longer. During this season of Advent, you see, nature goes to sleep. And the sun goes to its lowest point south. And it is said that the sun dies for 3 days, December 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, meaning the sun stops. Meaning the sun no longer is moving away from us. During this time, we are in a very dark period, you see. We are in a very low period. For there is a very low sense of hope. There's a very low, sense of peace. There's a very low sense of joy on the earth. But on the 24th, something miraculous begins to happen in the earth. For the sun, you see, begins to move 1 degree back towards the north, meaning the days will start to get longer and the nights will start to get shorter. Advent is not just an astronomical occurrence, but Advent is also a spiritual occurrence. Advent leads us into this magical and holy time called Christmas. Everybody say Christmas. Advent leads us into this magical, holy time called Christmas. For tonight, we have gathered to celebrate the birth of the Son. For tonight, we have gathered to celebrate the birth of light moving back into our world. See, I have come to let you know, just for these few minutes, I wanted to let you know tonight that this is the gist of the Christmas story. That this is the gist of the good news, that light has come to the world. Another thing we need to understand about the Christmas story is that light has been passed on to us. You might not have realized it, but you see, are the Christmas lights. Turn to your neighbor and say, did you know that you are the Christmas lights? Well, you know what? Some of the faces I just saw, that doesn't look too Christmassy. Let's try that again. Did you know that you are the Christmas lights? You see, we might not have realized that on tonight, that we are Christmas lights. Tonight, you see, at the end of the service that we're getting ready to have in just a few minutes, we have been given a candle. Wait, we have to give everybody a candle. So ushers, why don't we pass out those candles? Everybody has a candle. Can I have a candle? I want to show you something on tonight. Oh, thank you. Everybody, you see, has been given a candle on tonight. And one candle will be lit, you see, from the Christ candle. And the light of that candle will be passed on to the light of the next candle. And then the light from that candle will be passed on to the light of the next candle. And then what happens is, I'm going to show you what happened. You see, that's the Christmas story. That's the Christmas story that we hear every year. It reminds us that we don't have to remain in a place of darkness. For when Christmas comes, a new season in the world and a new season in our life also comes. For a new season of light is birthed, you see, when Christmas comes. And we are all given an opportunity to walk again in the light of Christ. There's a song that goes like this, and Sean, if you can help me. It goes like this. Walk in the light, beautiful light. Come where the dewdrops of mercy shine bright. Shine all around us by day and by night. Jesus, the light of the world. It's a simple hymn, but it talks about how light has come into the world. And that is why we light the Christ candle on tonight, to remind us that the Son of God, the light of God, is with us once again. Christmas is birthed and a new season has come. You see, old things are passed away and a new season has been birthed in our life on tonight. Tonight. you see, represents the climax of volume 1 of the story. Tonight represents the climax of volume 1 of the good news. For tonight, light has come into the world once again. But this is the real gist of the story. Yes, Christ brought light into the world. But that light was passed on to us to continue to shine in the world. For we now are God's Christmas lights. We now are the light of Christ in a dark world. Let me show you like this. Let me show you what this world would truly look like if we all took on the mantle and truly became God's Christmas lights. Ushers, do me a favor. Dim down the lights. Bring them down. That's it. Let me show you what the world would look like if we all became Christmas lights. I just lit this candle from the Christ candle. Ushers, come and help me. We have lit our candles from the Christ candle, which is the source of light. But that light has been passed on to us, for Christ now dwells within us. We now have the responsibility to become the light in the world, and the light to the world, and the light of the world. So let's light up our world with the light of Christ that dwells within each one of us. For we now have become God's Christmas lights. For we now have become God's Christ lights in a dark world. For this is what the world would look like if we continue to pass on the light of Christ to each other and to others. For every day, you see, would look like Christmas. Every day would feel like Christmas. So leave here, leave this place knowing that you are God's Christmas lights. So go out and light up the world. Go out and light up the world with hope. Go out and light up the world with joy. Go out and light up the world with peace. And go out and light up the world with the light and love of Christ. For you are God's lights. So shine bright, and bring Merry Christmas into the world. to all God's people, for you are God's Christmas lights. Let us stand and let us join together in our closing Christmas carol on tonight, Silent Night. You can find the words in the back of your bulletin. Actually, it's in the back of your bulletin. Let us sing together, Silent Night. Children of God, depart in peace and take with you the knowledge that God is always coming into the world. We will seek God, not in a long ago stable or ancient manger, but in the people we meet and in the depths of our own hearts. May the blessing of Christmas make you a blessing to others. May the peace of the season pervade all that you do. We will go forth in hope, peace, joy, and love, bringing the light of Christ into the world. Thank you so much for being with us here at our annual Christmas Eve service. You can blow out those lights, but not in your heart, not in your spirit. And let us sing together as we leave the sanctuary, Joy to the World, hymn number 179. And I want to wish everyone a happy, happy, and Merry Christmas. Let us sing together, Joy to the World.